In this video, I will show you how you can create these floating water droplets. It's a really easy method to do with Geometry Node, and it doesn't need any time-consuming water simulations or performance-eating metaballs. And yes, let's get straight to it. Okay, so first of all, let's add in any object. It doesn't really matter which one. And then switch to the Geometry Nodes tab up here. Let's select a cube and press on New. Okay, right now we have created a new geometry node system. Then delete the input. Then your object should be gone. And let's add in with Shift A volume cube and connect it to the geometry output. Okay, so you can now see this volume cube already. And then let's add in a volume to mesh node. And now it's a mesh cube again, but you can already see it has some rounded edges and it looks different than a normal cube. Then add in a value node and type something in like 64 for the start and connect it to the resolution. And switch this one to amount and also plug it in to the voxel amount. So now we can control the whole resolution of everything with this slider here. Okay, it now looks kind of weird, but let's fix that. So let's add in a noise texture and plug it into the density. Now we already see something going on, but that's not looking like a water drop in any way. So let's also add in a color ramp. And now if you bring up the black slider, you can see what's happening. And if you slide it up, you can see some things going on. And it also begins to look like water drops. Okay, so now let's also increase the size. Maybe type in something like 10 and -10, 0. So now we have a way bigger cube, but as you can also see, the resolution is pretty low. So let's double that. Okay. Now let's dial in these sliders, and you have to check your own PC performance, like how your PC is doing. If it's lagging too much, you can also turn it back down again, because right now we're just experimenting with the looks, and you can turn it back up when you render it out. Okay, so for me, it worked best when I set the black slider to 0.725. But then also bring the white slider down a little bit to 0.8. Then let's make the noise a little bit bigger. And also let's bring in a little bit of distortion. Let's say 0.5. Okay, so now let's turn up the resolution a little bit so we can see how it looks now. And you can already see like how there are some single water drops, but how they also get combined and build this bigger water drops, and it looks very similar to when you use metaballs. Yes, and so let's add in a set shade smooth node. And you can already see what that did. It's now way more smooth, looks more like water. And also a set material node, so we can give it a material. Now let's go on the right side to the material tab and add a new one. Let's call it water and bring up the transmission and bring down the roughness. Now, if you go to the render preview, nothing really happens, and that is because we have to select the material right here. Let's select our material and bam, now it looks like water. We can also go into rendered view, and now this is basically already the final effect. But another thing we can do is, if you want to have it a little bit animated, maybe let's say to have the drops move a little bit, let's go back to solid view and change the noise texture to 4D. Okay, then bring up the timeline from down here, switch to timeline, and go to this W slider and type in hashtag frame multiplied by 0.001. Let's try something like this. And let's turn down the resolution a little bit. And now when you play it, you can see how they move just a little bit, and some of them appear and disappear. But when you turn up the resolution again, you can see how they move around just a tiny bit. You can make it even more subtle. Maybe let's say 0.01. And now it only moves just a little bit. Okay, and that's already the basic effect. You can now play around with the resolution, you can play around with the noise texture or with the color ramp. Yeah, tweak it just so you like it and it fits your purpose. But yes, that's a really easy and quick way to do many water droplets that fly around in the air. Thank you so much for watching. We're already at the end of the video. Make sure to like it if you liked it and dislike it if you don't. And let me know in the comments what I should do a tutorial on next. And also if I can improve something. And yes, check out the description for more resources. I have a Patreon channel or a Gumroad or whatever. Check also out my socials. And if you make something with the animation, make sure to tag me on Instagram. Also follow me there. And yes, I wish you everyone a great week, and until next time.